vision of making the perfect video.
The one that hits every beat, every emotion, it just clicks. It's the dream we chase. Think we're just one editor tweak away from nailing it. But the pressure to make everything flawless can feel
Overwhelming.
like the finish line keeps moving further and further away. Here's my real advice. The perfect video doesn't exist. So I was scrolling on YouTube and I came across this guy named Sam Newton. And when I saw his films and found out who he was, I mean, he blew my mind. This guy has a way of telling stories, the way he is funny, the way he has adventure, the way he makes everything relatable. I knew right then and there, I said, I need to bring the same energy into my own work. So today I'm going to break down how can you tell better stories and use the same techniques just like Sam Newton. So what makes Sam Newton's storytelling so unique? It really goes down to about 3 different elements. And the number one thing is being authentic. In a world full of filters, authenticity is your superpower. And Sam is one of the best to do that. So Sam is not afraid to be himself. Everything you see is very natural, it's very real, it's very relatable. So you have to incorporate that in your own film, and that's what I try to do, because you cannot inspire anybody else if you're not inspired. So one of the things that makes Sam's work so amazing is his visuals and his relatable stories. Sam uses crazy visuals to tell human stories. Everything you see is very deliberate. His shots, you can see it, the way his angles is. You can see how he is trying to portray his emotion that he wants you to feel into his project. The stories is so relatable, it's so simple yet powerful. So you want to make sure you are telling the story that you want to portray with your visuals and with your stories. So one of the last things that I noticed when it comes to Sam's stories is his music choice.
When was the last time you let the wind breathe for you?
A lot of people skip over this part, but the music choice is actually one of the most important aspects to your project, especially when it comes to narrative. So you have to sit down and make sure that you are feeling the same music that you want somebody to feel. You want to find that music that relates to you, that you can see, because music has a way to bring out the emotion of somebody. Music has a way to connect with the world, and that's what I did when I came to mine. I had to sit there and go through hours of music to make sure that I want to connect with people with the story that I want to tell. So if you have to sit there and go for hours and hours and hours just to find the right music, then do it. So how do you incorporate this into your own film? Like I said, the number one thing is being yourself. It's okay to be inspired by somebody else, but don't copy anybody else. No one has your experiences. Whether you're goofy, whether you're serious or introvert or extrovert, make sure you're being yourself, because ultimately if you try to change for anybody else, then it'll do you more harm than good. And the second thing you want to do is make sure you hone in on the visual storytelling. Your visual storytelling is, like I said, the most important thing that you can do, because your visuals needs to support your story that you're trying to tell. So whether you're doing stock footage like I did, really take the time and sit there and say, what visual backs up this story that you're trying to tell? Lastly, leverage music for impact. Your music is what's going to drive your narrative forward. And if you cannot relate with your music, then nobody else can relate. You want to make sure that your music hits home and they can feel every beat, every lyric, whatever it is, even if it's an instrumental, everything. They want to feel every symbol. They want to feel it. But you have to make sure you pick the right music for the story that you want to tell. Here's the thing. You don't need a fancy equipment or a huge budget to tell a great story. Sam is a great proof of that, and so is the film that I just made. So even if you're doing stock footage, don't worry about that. The most important is the story and the visuals that you're putting out there. I hope this video helped you out. I hope you was able to understand story a little bit better. And if you're here trying to improve your filmmaker, then let's do it together. Subscribe, hit the notification button, and let's do this and let's go to work.